Yeah, there's language in the podcast episode. Get over it. Yeah, there.
Hello. It worked, right?
Yes, immediately. Yeah, I can hear you right away.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Um this is my space today. Um
Your house.
my house.
Mhm.
Uh because the temperature is livable here.
Sure.
Um
Ah, this is
yeah,
one of
down.
your home weekends that you earlier said that you went back and forth. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So right now you're in the fourth.
Um and and the apartment is still mine. It just hasn't been rented yet. Um, if I could take a moment here to just plug my 534 logo, I am really trying.
Really? You need to
Uh,
get out of there and have it rented from you?
um, I was supposed to be out end of June, last day of June. Um, Nobody took it, so I've been offered that special little hey, you can give me some money, right? Like, I'll let you stay for half rent until we find somebody.
Okay.
Um, and have yet to find anybody. So that is that's my current situation.
Is that a
Uh,
strong point of stress for you right now?
uh, it would be at a time where my life was mostly in control.
Mhm.
Um, but so many different parts seem so out of control that it's the thing on the list, my list of complaints. It's the thing that just and also like that's where that's at the moment.
Sure.
Because it's just a living space. It's just a place to sleep.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Right.
But how are you doing, man? I In all senses of that.
It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster, has been since March, I think. Um, about the living space, though, that is something that I am looking for. So I wish it was just closer so that I could help a brother out.
Ah.
Um, because that was one thing I thought about with the whole like, please leave our house type of uh, request that I was receiving last month, and I was like, I could just go fucking back to Michigan. Like
Yeah.
that's in some ways obvious. Um,
I wondered about that.
mhm.
You didn't indicate you were thinking about that at least the last time
Mm.
that we spoke, just over text about where you wanted to be next.
Yeah,
Um,
because my first choice is to stay here because I hate moving.
yeah.
I have projects picking up here, and it's never gonna work if I don't learn how to settle and handle partnerships that are not professional yet. We're still very amateur, and it's tough working with people who aren't necessarily film oriented or their lives don't revolve around it. It's not what they're trying to go into.
Mm-hmm.
But in some ways, it's easier than working with other people like me who are you know, into film just as much as I am. People of film, people in
Yeah.
Michigan. I feel like it's harder to get projects off there because everybody has their own. Everybody is a director. Even the sound guy that I would have on my set would be a director
Right.
to some things, and I would help him out. But everybody has their own vision an opinion. So in that way, it's harder. But I've been looking Las Vegas. I've been looking Texas, Los Angeles. Getting 2 payments over the last couple of nights. Like, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. It's usually at like 1:50. No, it's usually around the hour of 1 in the morning.
Okay.
I'm like, just like,
Yeah.
oh, I got a Tinder match. Nice. I'm just like
Hey.
sitting there waiting for it to happen again tonight. Like, I'm what's going to happen? Am I going to get another payment or?
Right.
So random. I sent in they wanted me to fill out this BS right here, and I did. Took a picture, faxed it to them. I figured that if most people are going to go that way, I'm going to go that way and see if I can find a back door in. So
Yeah.
if most people are trying to call unemployment, email unemployment, let me do a fax. And it seemed to happen. I explained. They asked, "Who did you speak to about your situation at work?" And
situation. That's a word, man. That is.
I forget
That's a
how
special word.
Yeah, I know. How do they word it? They say something. Well, it's like, okay, so you put last time you claimed that you quit your job. We would like to know why.
Mm-hmm.
Employer's name, address, phone number, date you began work. That was last year. So 13 months. I put my head manager was repeatedly and aggressively touching me inappropriately. Unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I sensed an intensifying attraction from her, and that's all I put. And then it says, and then did you discuss the situation with anyone? Yes or no? I put boom, boom, boom. 3 people I talked to, phone numbers, and then grabbed and groped me. July 2nd, 2020. I was vague in my mentioning it to another line cook. I did not know what to think. I then spoke to a manager who then notified the regional manager, blank, blank, and investigation was started. So that's what I faxed to them, and then a couple of days later, they're giving me my money days in a row so far. I have to think it was because of that letter, or, usually when you quit a job, you disqualify unless it's for good cause. And now I just can't seem to. I just hope they saw this fax come in, they read it, they were like, oh man, let's help this kid out. Took something.
I would, you circled the bubbles that would catch somebody's attention. You filled in the bubbles that would catch somebody's attention.
And it was true.
For good reason. Because
somebody could go through this situation, having it not be true, just thinking, oh, this will get me back on unemployment. But in my situation, it is true. Mm-hmm. So I was given the reason to quit for good cause, to leave an unbearable work environment, like it says, under the 7 things that qualify you when you quit. I fit into that, and it was handed to me. I sat here. I was talking to my dad, fighting back tears, the day that it happened, on a Friday, and I just said, I hope the devil knows how much of a tool he was for the Lord today. And I hope he hates it because of the timing that, did I tell you anything about the phone call that I took? And that's what, I don't know.
Phone call that you took, I'm not sure we did.
Let me paint this picture for you.
Yeah.
Thursday we have a meeting in the morning. The opener is in the meeting with us, and the meeting goes to 10:30, a little bit over, and we're opening at 11. My shift starts at 11.
Yeah.
So he starts doing his open, and it usually takes an hour and a half to do the whole thing. The opener now is putting away the truck, and he is the head manager's brother, their brother-sister. He's a couple years older than me. he is completely unwilling during the lunch rush that we get, because now I'm screwed over. I have to take over the line, keep watch of it, and it's a busy lunch rush, and he is completely unwilling to help me. And so the head manager, his sister, hops on the line with me. And it was just her and I for like 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, where two of the instances happened. And then later that day, it was, it's always the same way. It's like so I'm standing like this cooking, and then she comes behind me. It's like a hand on shoulder, hand on the ass, but also with it, it's like a full like swipe. That's what it is.
Nice.
So I'm going, dude, I don't ever pass behind somebody like that. I do butt to butt. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, yes, I should have said something in the moment, like, yo, or I don't know. I don't know what I should have said. But I should not have to. That's my thing, is I should not have to say anything to a grown adult at work about touching.
Yeah.
So that was a horrible shift. The worst shift that I had experienced at that place because of everything that happened. I pull a manager aside and I tell him about this. And he was like, well, this is up to you on how serious of an offense you take this. If you consider it serious, then it is serious. And he said, I will not be telling anybody unless you decide you want to move forward. Okay? I go in the next day. I'm walking up to the front door, and I see her on the phone outside the door. She sees me and goes, whoop, and walks. And I'm like, wow. So I just go, I start washing my hands. I clock on, regional manager. I'm washing my hands, and I hear this, hey, and I look up, and it's the boss. It's the boss. And I'm like, oh. And she goes, can I pull you outside before you get started on this work day? I go, yeah, absolutely. So she pulls me outside, and the whole time I felt she was patronizing me. I felt like I was Patch Adams talking to that one doctor, and he's going, I wish I could use my penis as a pogo stick and shit like that. And the doctor's like, yes, absolutely. I felt like she was investigating me to see whether or not I was telling the truth, and I have to come back. So I don't do that. I don't wash my hands. Instead, I just go, what else can I do? I grab a ranch thing. We do it in these huge buckets, and I take it downstairs. As I'm doing that, I see the general manager get up off of her table and book it. I'm like, oh, that was kind of interesting. I go downstairs. All of a sudden, she's downstairs. Like, she would have had to go outside, go all the way back, unlock the gate, and follow me down the stairs. She pops in the stairs. Colin, did you wash your hands? I go, no, I just came back. I need to see you wash your hands. And I go, I wasn't touching any food yet. So already there, I'm like, what kind of sympathy is that for somebody who just told you everything that I told you in our investigation you're supposedly starting? I was like, what a red flag, dude. Yeah. I'm about to be gone. So, okay. Same thing happens that day. Orders start coming in. The guy says, I'm going to go take a 45-minute break. That's not accurate. You're supposed to take 30 minutes. He takes 45. 50 because he makes his own food, plus he's in my way as I'm trying to make food. Comes back as my tickets are gone. Probably 7 or 8 tickets. Hard. Like, I was stressing out. Each ticket, some were to go. That's even harder. Some had like 5 items on it. He comes back from his break. I've just pumped out the orders, washed my hands. I'm calming him down. He goes, "Do you want to take your last 10 before you get out of here?" And I go, "Well, I still got like an hour and a half, so I don't need it yet." And then an order comes in. I start cooking it. My phone starts ringing. I go, "Oh, you know what, dude? I've been applying to a lot of jobs and a lot of houses recently. I
Yeah.
have to take this." I go, "Hey, I'm going to take that 10, actually. I got to take this call." Step outside. The phone call is 10 minutes and 33 seconds. As I'm on that phone call, it's a great phone call, and it feels like my ticket out of this place. He's going,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, your resume stood out to me for the film stuff." So talking to in those 10 minutes, the cook, Heather, Kayla, I'm gonna say their names. I don't fucking care. They
Yeah.
come out 4 times at least. I'm gonna say, and yell at me to get back on the line because he seems to be overwhelmed. When the day prior, he had just said to me, "Man, I need a fucking raise, dude. Like, this is not worth 15 an hour." And I'm sitting there going, "Dude, I'm making 13. What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, they kind of have grounds to fire me for taking this phone call and not obeying them, even though I was on break. Um, but each time that they came out and yelled at me, I was like, my anxiety shot through the roof because I was blatantly disobeying them. But I knew I could not leave this phone call. So I go back inside, grab the tickets, I hang them up. Heather comes up to me. She could have left it alone, but she comes up to me and goes, "What the hell?" The only thing I said is, "The dude making 15 an hour is capable of handling this." And they completely ignored that and just kept shouting at me about the phone call. So I just gently touched Heather's shoulder and I just said, "I quit." And I turned my back and walked away. I just heard her go, "Okay." And I was like, good luck with that, dude. Because for the next hour, I hope they were drowning, you know. So that's one way that it's been a roller coaster for me. But I guess I'll hit it back over to you.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that two things that really jump out at me listening to that, and one of them I already communicated to you over text. But your restraint in leaving, the things that you could have said / shouted, the scene that you could have made, and from what's being described to me, had every right to make.
Yeah.
You handled it in a way that's kind of hard to comprehend just as a listener. And I think you even described it as sort of, beyond your years, just that it that it was sort of like a supernatural, I hesitate to use the word peace in that situation, but just,
yeah,
you knew what to do,
mm-hmm.
and you knew the words that needed to be said
Mm-hmm.
to communicate it, and you didn't say anything more or less, and you didn't do anything more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, so here, especially hearing it within the full context of everything that happened is really striking to me. And the other thing that really jumped out at me was just, you being asked when you initially raise the concern, being asked, how serious is this? You having already described, correct me if I'm wrong, you having already described what had happened,
Mm-hmm.
then being asked, how serious is this?
Mm.
which communicates itself as like the equivalent of like how hurt are your feelings.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
You know, like, aw, like how much is this bothering you? Like, you know. And that's just it, you know, it makes me just wonder how many times that question gets asked in the wake of these things that happen more often than we realize. To infinitely more people than we realize. And that's the other thing that's worth noting is I applaud you for talking about this.
Mm.
You didn't even hesitate.
No.
Like you spoke out right away.
Yeah.
And you opened up the world to see like that. I've watched that clip of you
Really.
of just in the car a few times.
Wow.
Watched it a few times because it's
You know what my sadness is in that video? If I could explain what I was seeing as I was crying, it was a film reel of the good times I've had with those people over the last 13 months. It wasn't, I'm a victim. Oh no, this happened to me. It
Right.
was like
you didn't want to have to just leave this place.
I didn't want to report her. I was done with my recovery, ready to go back. I was itching to go back.
I don't blame you for not at the very least I don't blame you for not putting feelers out there for restaurant positions, for food positions. That would, it's interesting to think about like the scope of, in situations like these, how many things does it turn you off to? And that's poor wording, obviously. It's not you know, you go to a movie and it's a historical drama, you know, set in 50s, like what that. Nice. Almost pulled a my mom.
Oh, you? I thought you were talking about me.
No. No, I was a split second. I was a voice in my head away from screaming. I was a sentence in my head that just said, don't. All it said was, don't scream. You know what happened.
Yeah.
He's not just attacking. So you go to a movie and it's a movie set, you know, in the 50s or 60s, it's a movie about Joseph McCarthy and McCarthyism, and you're watching the movie and somebody makes a really inappropriate pass at you, just like verbally, just another stranger in the theater or something makes a really inappropriate comment. Point being, it ruins your night.
Mm-hmm.
Ruins that experience, but like, how much does it ruin? Does it ruin going to the movies by yourself? Does it ruin sitting in a certain part of a movie theater? Does it ruin like how close you sit in proximity to someone that you don't know? Does it ruin McCarthyism? Does it, like, every time that you read something in an article or something that references like McCarthy, do you get like a chill in the back of your head like that?
Yep.
Oh my God, that stranger that said that
Mhm.
weird thing to me. So like, yeah, what's the scope of what's affected? What is the fallout of one really stupid experience? Just, and
It's
I don't mean that to diminish what happened. I don't mean stupid like a insignificant. I mean
yeah,
just fucked.
right. I mean,
Yeah.
if I were to be in public and hear the name of the company, I would twitch or something.
Hmm.
So then I go through with the working interview. It's great. The guy that I spoke to, getting yelled at, whatever, he follows through with me immediately.
Hmm.
We have a working interview on Tuesday with another guy who's his scheduler. And it's like an hour and a half, and I'm asking good questions. I'm helping out and whatever. And then the next week, Tuesday, I follow up with it. And he goes, hey, yeah, I thank you so much. Not enough people follow through with jobs like this. And, it really means a lot. We're actually sitting down this afternoon to talk about who we're hiring and stuff. So we'll be in touch this afternoon. I was like, sweet. 10:35 p.m. They send me, hey, we're moving on. We're not choosing you, whatever. So that was just another like, dude, I thought I was going to slip right into this new job and be like, fuck you. I emailed them and said, listen, I quit my job right after our phone call. Like, I was placing a lot of hope in you guys, and I'm really sorry this couldn't work out. My first instinct was to just send him a super sarcastic note or something. But I was like, if I can just keep this contact, be professional, something might happen in the future, whatever. If he really is looking for film related, whatever. But
I'm sorry that didn't work out.
that so
The
fucks up.
fuck's up. Oh, I need that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
The fuck's up, man. I don't know why that just triggered Alexa down here. Something about that. She wants to converse now.
What? That's funny.
It's interesting what things get said. I'm going to answer this question. I'm not just dodging it, but I'm interested by the things that thing hears and thinks is AE. I just spelled her name wrong. I got 2 letters in, and I am dead sober. And in trying to spell the name of the machine, I went A-E.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were trying to say.
Nah, I was being a dumbass. No, I'm a dumbass.
I was just
Still one of my favorite.
I was just thinking about that. Okay, so I love, and I'm always tempted to, whenever there's a text of mine that goes unanswered, it's always my instinct to send the same text in all caps, like as if they didn't hear me or something. And there was one that you didn't respond to recently, and what popped into my head to send was, all right, I'll just go fuck myself. Which then made me think of Jeff saying, oh no, I'm a dumbass. And I just was cackling to myself for like 5 minutes.
There's the first part of the answer to that question of how I'm doing is that, because I've been really, really bad about responding, more bad than I've been, I think, ever.
Which is the opposite of what you wanted to do for this year.
It's literally the opposite. But you know what? I think I said that last year. I think last year I was like, this year I'm going to respond to people regularly. I was handed a doctor's note. That's what COVID feels like to me. That's what this year has felt like to me. That my therapist put it really well, because I've gone through waves of how I'm responding to this. At the beginning of all of this, I was the person who was walking around outside, and if I saw somebody wearing a mask, and like the thing that I would get really unnaturally upset about was at the beginning of all this, walking around outside and somebody's walking the same way towards me, and they, cross to the other side, or they do that thing, which is not, that's a normal thing now. But at the beginning of this, that really threw me, and I couldn't not take that shit personally. And so I would walk around, and that would happen, and I would get this sudden urge to get up in their face and go and just tear their mask down and just breathe in their face. And that's not, I wish that was an exaggeration, but that was the stuff that was going through my head at the beginning of this experience.
It's a federal offense to do that.
Yep. Yeah, I have a lot of those instincts. I have a lot of federal offense instincts these days.
Yeah. Well, before COVID, there might not have been,
Right.
It's just like the new, I hate even saying it, the new normal.
Yeah, that's new normal. And then one day at a time, I have this list of little phrases that just so that's not an at you, that's just a me thing that I need to work on.
I have them too. Sorry, is that one of them?
That's saying the same fucking thing twice.
Yeah.
The exact same way. That's definitely up there, Colin.
Yeah.
God. I was like that at the beginning, and then I numbed out really hard. And I was trying to dissect that, and I remember my therapist saying, the outside matches your inside. And I was really taken aback by that. But then I was like, yeah, it does. The turmoil that I'm used to experiencing here is out here. The outside matches the inside, which is how I used to think about rain. Interestingly enough, like rainy weather, I've always been really attracted to, because I feel like it matches. It matches my aesthetic.
Yeah.
And there's some baggage that comes with the outside matching your inside. There's in certain weird ways, it's comforting at times to walk outside and not feel the pressure to masquerade. To walk outside and feel like everybody knows what's up. Like we're all, running around like is life meaningless? Do 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 do, and just all in this harmony, and I'm like, you guys finally learned it. You finally learned that song I've been trying to teach you all. And that's sort of where my, I hate to say my nihilist sort of kicks in with I look at everything that's happening right now and I just go, whatever. I bumped into a couple friends at a coffee shop last week. It's the Outdoor Coffee Shop. I don't know if you ever.
No.
It's right around right around the corner from where I live, and it's the one coffee place where I've felt like when I'm sitting there, it resembles what it was before all of this.
Mm.
And so I've been going there more often than not. And I bumped into a couple friends there that I hadn't seen in a while.
No.
And I knew as soon as I saw them walk in, I knew that we were going to have an interaction. And I knew that I wasn't going to be able to lie when "How are you doing" came up.
No.
And sure enough, I've never had this experience before. They asked, "So how are you doing?" And I said, horrible.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's like that. You could see Jim in the circle of people watching the interaction and looking at the camera like, because, and I was aware of it. That was the other thing. I was aware of what I did in that moment to that conversation. But I didn't go back on it. I couldn't go back on it.
Yeah.
I don't have the ability to cover up anymore.
It would be harder to do that.
Yeah. The energy that I used to be able to find in myself to tell people that I was doing all right is gone. So if I'm not doing all right, you're going to hear about it.
Yeah.
Which, was part of was part of the way that I reached out to you yesterday.
Yeah.
I was composing a text to you that was trying to be composed. I feel like I already went through this with you a little bit. I think one of the times that we talked.
I remember your attachment to Legos.
Yeah. That's what I mean when I talk about Trivial. When I talk about my attachment to Trivial right now. I mean trivial. Yeah. I mean really trivial.
Like I remember the returning to past passions or lost passions.
Yeah.
Even if it be small. Like for me, it was the basketball, the heavy lifting, magic, and ventriloquism were my four things that I was really into that described me. If my parents would tell somebody else about me or tell me about somebody else, they would say he was into these four things. Magic still has to play in my comedy and filmmaking. I love the illusion that you can give off with comedy. There's a COVID test video that I did where I shout out the window and I'm saying something like, hey, good luck with the COVID, whatever. And he goes, hey, you too. But it was not a real person. It was me recording that in post and putting it online. And that's where the illusion comes from, is my inclination towards magic. I had a whole magic set. I could do them really well. Fake tongue, fake finger, shit like that. So that's one thing I was going to ask is, has there been, have you stuck with it? Like,
as the resurgence evolved,
yeah.
Has it maintained?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely has. I just last night I had another dream about another toy that I never got. Looking at you, mom and dad.
But you never got
Not-
to. That's not what I expected you to say.
It's another toy that. No, it was.
Like another
It was-
toy that you had. That's what I thought you were going to say. Because that would make sense.
No, it's the dreams that I have are. I can't remember if I got into this detail, but when it comes to dreams that don't suck for me, the most recurring one is me in a toy store with all the things that either I was never able to find, or I wanted them to make, but they didn't make.
Mhm.
And I'm going through this toy store and I'm finding them all. And it's amazing. I'm going through this aisle of toys that only existed here when I was 12. And I'm suddenly picking them up in their box and I'm putting them in my cart. And the cart's, just stacking and stacking. And so yeah, I deviated that time.
Right. Uh-huh.
Put the M at the end. Don't think you know me. Don't you? That just now. That
Xbox?
the little AEL.
Oh, I thought that sounded like
EXA.
Xbox. That was weird.
It did.
Yeah.
You know what? It does. It
Mhm.
does.
Sounds like you bumped the controller or something.
Yes. Yeah. Might even be the same pitch.
Yeah.
Somebody should file a lawsuit.
XO.
It's not worth it. Not worth it.
Instead of learning film stuff, like if you're already involved in plays in the play community there,
yeah,
you have to write from your surroundings. And I think you coming up with your own stuff and starting to put that on is like totally what I'm doing here, just different medium.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. I feel like film would be, I'll put it this way, I feel like theater would be more private. And I feel like you're a more private person. But
I think you're right on, man. Yeah, I think there's a part of me that desires you had to be there. You had to be there at the time to see it. With film, at any time,
yeah,
you can access it from anywhere. And that's where so much of this gray line has been just accentuated. Odd way to put that, but with theater trying to adapt to the current context. I don't know how much you've been exposed to Zoom theater.
No, or Zoom stand-up. I really have stayed away from any of that.
Yeah. It's not theater.
It saddens me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's it's in a way it's the best that we can do right now, but I can't wait for this to not be the way that it is.
Yeah.
And when you talk about, me writing stuff for theater, producing, original content, I was so close, man. I was literally a week away.
I remember this.
We were a week away from going up. And that was when I gave up, and the universe threw that. That's the thing about it. At the time, it's a global event, a national event, but global.
Yeah.
That I couldn't not take personally. I took it so personally.
Oh.
At the time that you're you're gonna do this to me now?
Sure.
I mean, so selfish. But I was livid because, like, and come to find out that we all had something.
Yeah.
We all had something that was about to happen.
Okay. A movie that instantly became a favorite of mine this year was Irresistible. Have you seen this?
Is this Jon Stewart's?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, dude.
I want to see it.
It's just so good for so many reasons. If Jon Stewart, if I didn't know that he made this, he would be one of my top 3 guesses as to who made this movie.
Really?
It is so Jon Stewart. And I really like Jon Stewart. I haven't watched much of his show or anything, but I know that he helped Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell with their careers in the beginning, and has maintained a friendship with them. And Steve Carell is just brilliant in this movie. You got Mackenzie Davis, and Mackenzie Davis, dude, she has my heart, dude. I love Mackenzie Davis, and she has absolutely no social media whatsoever, and it's so frustrating.
Really?
But do you know who this is, Mackenzie Davis?
I'm worried I'm picturing the wrong person. Could you name one of her credits?
Tully with Charlize Theron.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's another thing we haven't talked about is content. Like, what are you watching right now?
So I finished True Detective. Actually.
Oh yeah.
I can remember you raving about True Detective, and yeah, my dad and I just went through True Detective.
So season 2, I'm assuming.
Season 2, we've
I didn't watch it. I haven't seen it.
Okay.
Just one.
We watched 1.5.
Okay.
And I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah,
in fact, we didn't.
It was bad.
What we did actually is we watched season 1, and then almost started season 2, and I was like, let's go to season 3.
Really?
Watch season 3.
Oh.
Really liked season 3.
Crazy season. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite character is that white cop.
Really?
I loved him. He was a cowboy, dude. He was
the
great.
Oh my god. The acting is just
yeah. So tell me about season 2.
It's depressing, man. And I love depressing.
Yeah.
But season 2 is the depressing that you can't. It doesn't make sense to swallow it. It
really?
just doesn't make sense. Because and honestly, I mean, part of this is just my bias geographically, but I think the location is what screwed them over a little bit.
Oh.
In setting it in Los Angeles.
Ah, okay.
I think it loses a little bit of its distinction. I think it becomes a little more basic, and I think Los Angeles. Sorry, I'm gonna get into it. I fucking hate Los Angeles. It depresses me to no end. and you're watching 7 or 8 people. First of all, too many people that they're trying to. That's the first thing that just like I was like, hang on. So I knew about Colin Farrell and I knew about Vince Vaughn. Are we not doing the two? We're gonna go like 8 different characters. Okay. And you're just following a lot of really unhappy people. And the thing about season 1 specifically, you need Woody Harrelson with Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
I don't think, as much credit as McConaughey's performance gets, rightfully so, I don't think we would watch a show with just him,
Yeah, same.
You need the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
You need the energies, the tension, and the, when you get too much of one, it's like, it's all right because you're going to go back to the other one.
Yes.
And that's going to be something new. And the thing that I felt within 20 minutes of season 2 of True Detective, I was like, these all just feel like different unhappy people. Like just a different, it goes from one person who's getting shit on to another person who's getting shit on to another person that's getting shit on. This is weird, but I also think that Jackie kind of turned me off to Vince Vaughn. That Jackie's like extreme disdain for him.
Oh.
I somehow took that on a little bit. In a just like his face showed up and I was just upset about it. I was just upset about his face being on screen. And then I was like, why am I upset? And I was like, okay, Jackie really, really hates Vince Vaughn. So I blame her. I blame it's interesting how you can just kind of catch disdain like that a little bit sometimes.
I don't have that opinion of Vince Vaughn. I used to really dislike him. And then Dylan turned me on to him with Swingers and Made. And then I saw him in Mel Gibson's latest, the Passion of the 50 Shades of Grey. No, it was the Hacksaw Ridge. That's what it was. Hacksaw Ridge.
Okay.
And then he did a movie called Dragged Across Concrete with Mel Gibson just last year, which is incredible.
I don't know if I've
really
heard that one.
They are 2 cops, 2 LA detectives. I think it's LA. Great movie. I just watched it for the second time with my dad. But yeah, I don't have that same opinion of Vaughn anymore. I did when I saw the remake of Psycho. That was a bummer to watch.
I've never made it all the way through that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Have you tried multiple times or just one?
Twice.
Twice. Yeah.
Twice. I got further the second time.
No. Yeah.
But anyway, all that to say that no, we didn't watch the second season of True Detective, but we loved the first and the third. I was like, I knew that the first one was really well regarded, so I hadn't heard as much about the third season, so I didn't know what to expect, and I really, really, really liked the third season.
Yeah, the mystery.
And I just think that there is so much unexplored territory with old age,
right?
In film and mean, and everything. I think there's just so much unexplored. For so long, we've only been tapping the surface of, the dementia serves the purpose of, the sad part of Captain America too. He goes in and it's like, oh, his girlfriend's, she can't remember anything, and oh, boo-hoo. And this time there were layers to it. And it was really like season 3 just emotionally really really got me. No, I mean, I always love that the the resolve that isn't a resolve. I'm always down for those. But trying to think what else Fargo. That was what we did before True Detective. True Detective. Watched all 3 seasons of Fargo.
Nice. That's not one I've seen.
I really enjoyed it. I do think like each season, I call it the Back to the Future effect, that just I'm one of those weirdos that likes all 3 Back to the Future movies. Majority of people, at least the conversations that I have, it's like at some point everybody decided that the third one was garbage, and I'm like, I don't think it's garbage. It's different, but I do rank them. First one top, second one, then third. I would say that about Jurassic Park. That each Jurassic Park just sinks. But the difference being that that Fargo, I enjoyed all 3 seasons, but I do rank them like one after another. Actually, the performance that I was really, really impressed with in Fargo was David Thewlis, I think is his last name, who I only knew from Harry Potter. Plays the villain in season 3 and is just so... Oh, I have a scene that I need to send you. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a scene, because it just this was something I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, please do.
So I think the content, just to kind of sum it up, it's like the content I've been watching there's been a lot of performance driven. What I'm working on now is Ozark.
Yes.
After so much time of not getting to it, I'm in it now.
Great seasons, dude.
Yeah.
Same. Maybe 1, 2, 3, but 1 and 2 are super close, and 3 is right under that. Like, they all have a very, just a great story. I think you'll really, really get into it. How far have you started, or are you like?
No, I haven't started yet, but I'm on episode 8, I think, of the first season.
Nice.
Cool. I've enjoyed what I've seen so far.
Discovered this YouTube channel, and I can't remember if I sent you any videos, but it's this guy. He interviews big name people, and he will just throw their interview into like a 13 to 15 minute video. And it's like how I wrote Breaking Bad, how I wrote Sopranos, and he just talks to all the writers. How I wrote Inception,
Really?
how I wrote The Joker. They go into that shit. Like Todd Phillips is on talking specifically about the Joker. And then there's another one, how I wrote Heath Ledger's Joker, and it's Christopher Nolan talking about his process writing his Joker.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa.
I gotta send you this for sure. Let me try and find it. So I just want every video that he's done. I sit there and I go, God, I gotta watch that again because it invigorates me so much. And so I went back, and I'm mid season 3 of Breaking Bad right now. Is why I'm getting to this. Breaking Bad. This is my 3rd time going through it. Behind the Curtain. That's the channel. Behind the Curtain. Yeah. He has a podcast, and that's where he takes these interviews from.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, huge backlog.
How have I not?
Seems pretty new.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I still have a ton of them in my watch later list I need to go through, but I was like, every video I want to watch.
Yeah. I'm psyched. I'm psyched for this.
Nice. Yeah, dude. Huge insight into writing, especially the Breaking Bad ones. How they would put together an episode. Like, okay, we need teaser, we need beginning, middle, and end for each character's storyline throughout that episode, and then we need a cliffhanger. And it's just so crazy to hear them talk about, oh, well, actually, we discovered this in season 2, or I was fighting this up until this season, and this led to a choice that I didn't want, but ended up being better for this. You know, they just go far into it. It's crazy cool.
I can finally watch all these videos about Breaking Bad that I wasn't able to watch.
Totally. I know. Yeah, because you
10 years later or whatever.
Yeah.
Finally.
Wasn't it just last year or 2 years ago that you...
It wasn't even a year ago. It was a few months ago I finished it.
Holy cow. Yeah, dude. Right on time for that video. That one has like 1 million views and is one of his most popular, but it made me get back into the show, and I tried to start watching it with my dad, but we got to episode 2 and he became disinterested. Don't know why, but the fact that it's about meth, he's not down to watch it. Which is just like, you're gonna leave this earth with nothing.
It's about meth, but it's not about meth.
Right.
Yeah.
But a man like discovering what lengths he'll go to help his family or to provide for his family. Questioning like, how far would you go if you were in a situation like this and you knew how to pull... It's one thing if you're just going to go loot a fucking store to get some money, but if you legitimately have the knack and intuition to like pull off a chemistry, magic act and create this shit, then like, why wouldn't you?
I love everybody's arc, but Hank's in particular.
Yes. Yes. Well, I think we talked about this in February when I was living at home alone here. Talked about the ending, or maybe you hadn't officially ended it.
I don't know if I had finished it yet, but I was getting close, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Hank so much.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Or like 4 or 5 come to mind. If I can go out like Gus Fring, I'll be so happy.
yeah
If I can get that death,
yeah
get to adjust my
right.
before I. Oh my god.
I finished a couple months ago season 5 of Better Call Saul, which is just another worthy venture for sure.
I haven't started it yet, but
Yeah, just as captivating as Breaking Bad, I think, or close up there, but in a way different, more intellectual way. It's not going to be like playing on my emotions so much. Breaking Bad really taunts you, builds suspense, plays on your emotions.
mhm.
Um, shit that happens built off of like a misunderstanding between the characters. That
Mm,
frustrates me so much, watching that. But it really adds to some suspense. And Better Call Saul does not have that at all. In fact, the whole vibe is different. But it definitely is like things are clicking with me. It's intellectual. It captures me differently. So after you give it some time, I would say dive back into the Albuquerque, New Mexico ring and see how it kind of started, because you get like Tuco, the Salamancas, uh, all that shit in season 5, and they're almost up to Breaking Bad point, because it's
oh, nice,
yeah.
nice.
I think they have one more season, and then we're at Breaking Bad.
One season that hasn't happened yet.
Yes, yeah. They just aired season 5. So
Nice.
with COVID and all that, I'm sure shooting season 6 has been pushed back.
Yeah. Damn.
So it's like pretty fucking late for you.
It's
3:30.
yeah. I should go to bed. Yeah.
I'll find something out of this podcast. We've been going for like, what was it, 10?
It's been 3 hours.
Has it?
Yeah.
Holy mother! Yeah, we'll find something out of this.
Yeah, you probably got like 5 or 10 minutes out of
Yeah.
this. I'm really, really grateful for your time, man, and like it's really good to talk to you, and
Yeah, you too.
and be keeping you in my heart with everything going on. Just
Definitely.
um,
I appreciate you being available to update, because that's therapeutic in and of itself, is just to be able to like shoot you a message. And I'm not requiring a response right away, but I am looking for understanding, you know what I'm saying? And that's just always really nice to have, because true understanding of my situation is hard to come by nowadays. And people I would love to have it in, like my parents, I don't always find it there. You and Phil, man. So thank you.
Thank you for saying that, man. It's always a joy talking to you, and keep me in the loop, and I will I will do the same with you.
Yeah, definitely. Peace, bro.
Yeah, peace to you. Love you, man.
Love you too. Have a good
I'll
night.
talk to you soon. You as well.
Bye.